Welcome back again to another episode of Father and Sundays, the unexplainable guide to absolutely nothing. This week we are talking about Bigfoot.
Yeah, love Bigfoot.
Yep, or Big Feet. So stick around if you want to hear more.
So, Bigfoot. I love this sort of thing, the unexplained and such. So, how much do you know about Bigfoot?
Big, hairy, woods, huge feet, Sasquatch, America, scary,
Right.
walks funny, lives with the Hendersons.
Oh, I think we're straying off slightly there then. So, do you believe that there is such a thing as Sasquatch, Bigfoot, the Yeti?
It is hard to believe there's exactly something like that, bearing in mind how big it supposedly is in a wooded area. That's the bit I find hard to believe, and the fact that no one would have found it. See, for sea creatures and animals, it makes a bit more sense because you can't get down that far, you can't see those kind of things. But I find that a little bit hard to believe, and maybe it could be explained by other means.
Well, I'm a
find
bit
it.
of a I'm a bit of a sucker for this sort of thing. So I've watched countless documentaries on the likes of Bigfoot and Loch Ness and all the rest of it. But with Bigfoot, I didn't realise the expanses of America, Northern America, that is hardly ever ventured into. I mean, I wouldn't say that no one's ever gone there, but it's very rare, very dense forest, very much out of the way. And there's almost areas that are from snow-capped mountains down to the coast that people can't really access. And I can believe that there's things that could potentially stay hidden. What I'm not so sure about is some of the theories behind it. So if you watch these programs, they'll tell you it's 6 to 8 to 10 foot tall. It's covered in hair. It walks like a human, but it's looks more like a gorilla or some sort of giant ape.
Are you describing Jeremy Clarkson?
Yeah, that's something like that. Drags its knuckles along the floor. Yeah, no, actually, yeah, I might be getting mixed up for a start. But it's a bit like most of these things. Like you've got the North American one, which people talk about as being Bigfoot. You've got, if you go just into Canada, it's Sasquatch. Then you go to Nepal, it's the Yeti. The Chinese have got something called Yeren. Australia have got one called Yowie. And Indonesia, I've got one called Orang Pendek, which is, a bit too much, I think. But they're all sort of variations on a theme, and I suppose all taken certainly from the North American side of things, from Native Americans. And they're sort of, I don't know, what would you call it?
I don't know what you call it.
No, wow, I've just gone blank. I'm just so in awe of it all, I've just gone completely blank.
Big hairy man. So there's a big hairy man. There's big hairy man in a lot of different cultures.
Yeah. So look, I mean, one of the things that they do say about them is because they disappear so quickly. There's been loads and loads of sightings, apparently, allegedly, but they disappear quite often. And one of the theories along there is that they do something sort of interdimensional. So they actually go through portals from one place to another, and that's why you don't see them, because they can disappear into thin air, so to speak. Now, I'm not so sure about that one.
So that explains everything, in my opinion. I mean, clearly, a big hairy interdimensional beings is definitely what's going on here.
Yeah, well, they do say that as well. There was a certain time as well where everybody that saw a Bigfoot, you'd have people searching for Bigfoot, and at the same time you'd have people searching for UFOs or particular places which were UFO hotspots, and then they started linking the two together, saying that the actual Bigfoots were being sent down by, not necessarily were the aliens, but were being sent down by the aliens as scouts to come and have a look
Surely
at
then
what
they
we've
are
done.
aliens because they're alien scouts.
Yeah,
It
all
is
right, if
alien.
you want to get technical about it, yeah, absolutely. But no, not necessarily like that. But they also said as well, I mean, what about, for instance, the tracks and the, they've got loads and loads of moulds of particular tracks and particular parts of the alleged Bigfoot. I mean, are they hoaxes? Are they?
I would say that I'm not going to say that all of them are fake, but you're saying there's a number, so probability tells me that some of them are going to be fake. Really, that's not me saying that definitely all of them are fake.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's
yeah,
not
I
going to
get
be that
that.
hard to fake a track, really. That's going to be probably one of the
No.
easier things to mock up yourself.
Yeah. Well, they've got feet, haven't they? They've got lots of casts of the feet, but they've also got ones
Hang on,
of
hang on.
like
Sorry. Do you mean like Bigfoot creatures have lots of feet, or do you mean people have
that
gathered lots of feet?
us humans have got
You've got lots of
lots of
feet.
No, not necessarily. Yeah, I've got two. It's the normal amount, but I've got not no. I haven't
More
got
than
any of these
average.
casts. Other people have got these casts. In fact, they've got them in Disney. That's another little thing around the Himalayan. Apparently, they've got casts there that are from North America, where they were first found. Anyway, they've got these casts they've made of not just the feet, but the forearm and the knuckles. And even they've got a few imprints of bottoms, and they've
Oh,
said,
cheeky.
you know, which actually, I come to think of it, it's a good job there's more casts of the feet than there are of bottoms. Otherwise, we'd all be looking for a big butt instead of big foot woman.
Yeah, we would.
So perhaps it was good it was that way. But I was just interested when I started looking into it that they have actually got other things. They've had blood that they've analysed, but of course nothing really came of that. They've found fur that they've analysed, but obviously nothing much came of that as well. And it is a difficult. It's hard to not get caught up when you're watching these things, but it doesn't help that the majority of the people out there looking for it are sort of, well, come across as gun-toting rednecks, and
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that they're not there legitimately and they're trying to do the right things. But when you watch it, you kind of think, well, and they've all got guns. They're all
They
looking
appear
to
to be hunting
actually,
Bigfoot.
yes. And what they will say is they want to take a say if they shoot one, it's then so that they can give that to the scientists, and the scientists can do an autopsy on it and start to learn about them. And that's their justification for shooting it. Why they couldn't stun it or whatever is beyond me. But by the by, they're very serious. If people have committed like a large proportion of their life to trying to find these things. But apart from some dodgy, I mean, there was a film in some footage in I think 1967, which is the famous one of an ape-like creature, Bigfoot, walking along through some woods.
And in
the people that took-
1987, they had a film
Yeah.
which had him living with a family called The Hendersons. I believe that was
Right.
1987.
I'm sorry, if you're not going to take this seriously, I'm not going to talk to you about it anymore.
Sorry,
But
carry
I
on.
mean, there's a big industry behind it as well. Obviously, there's lots of souvenirs, lots of bits and pieces you can get. The actual, almost like the typical image of Bigfoot is used on so much advertising as well now. Trademarks for certain things that I guess it helps with all that as well. But as I say, it's like anybody that devotes their life to looking for something. Well, that may be because they need something else in their life, but when you see them, they say, "Well, I've been doing this for 30 years," and they say to them, "Well, how many times?" Well, they say they've seen it, but there's still no evidence apart from the plaster casts of backsides and that. There's still no evidence that Big Butt is out there.
Yeah, no one really knows of big butts out there. I mean, for you, so you think there's more than one across the globe as well?
Well, look, there's variations. The way they describe them is slightly different on each continent, which would make sense, I guess. But they also describe them being in family groups, which would make more sense again, because one of the biggest things about any of these supposed mythical creatures is that you wouldn't still have them. If you think about Loch Ness, that's a different subject, but you'd need a breeding pair at least to continue that on. When bearing in mind people have been spotting these things for so many years, you'd have to have a breeding pair.
Unless they are like strawberries and send off a vine in one direction and regrow another Bigfoot. Maybe that's what the butt prints are, is where a Bigfoot has grown out the ground.
Honestly, strawberries, what?
They reproduce. They can reproduce on their own.
Yeah, but we're not talking about strawberries, are we? That's a completely different.
I'm just saying. Maybe
thing.
maybe it's a similar thing. I'm just saying that potentially, who's to say that that kind of creature would have to reproduce in the way we see animals in reproducing? There's some animals that don't need to reproduce that way.
I guess when you listen to them, some of them say, "Well,
like a gorilla or a human or something like that."
Well, that's it, and they're saying, "Well, what you first got to do is think about, well, what is it? Are you saying this is a completely different species? Or are you saying it's ape-like, so it's part of the ape family that we weren't aware of? Is it human, but as not sort of evolved, or what is it?
Is it a bloke in a suit?
Is it a bloke in a suit, which undoubtedly it is some of these times. What makes me laugh is if you drill down and go onto the sites for these particular places, they seem to become more specific in what they say about, and this is no word of a lie, I went into a site which talked about, they say like, they can be 7 to 10 feet tall, 35 stone at least, footprints 17 inches long, right? That's all, this is the sort of thing we've heard. One of the things about it is they mate like gorillas, right? Now,
right,
okay, so I was a bit interested in this. Apparently between March and April,
don't say you've looked at how gorillas mate.
Well, all I'd say is if I get knocked down, can you please clear my search history, because there's some bizarre stuff. There's some bizarre stuff coming up on there at the moment from doing these particular things.
Someone's been watching gorilla porn. You're not going to be allowed in London Zoo anymore, are you?
No, possibly not. No. No. So they were saying like they mate like gorillas between March and April. Now I thought, well, I'll have a little look. What does that actually mean? So, it says like the dominant silverback mates with all females in the group as soon as they begin ovulation. Right, fair enough. In most cases, it's a female who initiates the mating process, and as soon as she's ready. When a female gorilla is ready to mate, she will approach the dominant male slowly, make sustained eye contact, and this is the bit that got me, and purse her lips.
Oh.
Ooh. So I didn't know that. So you learned something new anyway. Well, apparently that's what Bigfoots do. Big feet, or whatever the plural is for them.
See,
hang on. They also say that they can run up to and beyond 35 miles per hour. How do they know that? This is where they get me, because they start to it feels like they're just embellishing on something.
See, they have got a strange stride, so that you'd think they wouldn't be able to go that fast.
If they're 10 foot tall and they ran similar to us, they could get a real speed up, because obviously your gait then is huge.
Yeah, I mean it's strange for them to have all these statistics, like they need to be this big, they mate like this, I don't know, all these other things that I've forgotten what you said because you made a long list. But they've got all these facts about them, but we don't even know they are fact.
Yeah,
It just seems
and
they've got all this information, but absolutely zero research because they've never caught one. They've never been able to research it. They've never seen one for a long period of time. The most they've really got is something with a funny walk. You know,
well, yeah, and
Buddy the elf from Buddy the elf walk.
they come up with, like, let's say, carnivore, right, or herbivore, or omnivore. So they're really making sure that
Yeah, hedging their
they
bets.
right space. But then they go on to say are very partial to Kit Kats.
Sorry.
They are very partial to Kit Kats.
Oh, was this a Kit Kat advert like years ago that I don't know about?
No. This is exactly. Oh, maybe actually you're right. But that's exactly it. And then, bearing in mind, people have seen them and they've been frightened by them and all the rest of it. It says if confronted by a Bigfoot, right? If you offer it food, I'm not lying about this. This is actually on that. There's an 80% chance of survival if you offer it food, right? 20% chance you're going to get killed, 80% chance of survival. However, if you cry when you see a Bigfoot, it would provoke it and it will punch you in the face.
Oh, who's got these stats? No one's ever come across it. How have they got? You got 80% chance of survival if you feed it. I guess punching in the face, better than biting your face off, I guess. But which you think something feral might do.
It's obviously really doesn't like emotions. It really doesn't. No. It doesn't deal with it particularly well. And its only way of dealing with it is punch you in the face.
Maybe it needs to sit down and talk its emotions through. Yeah.
Yeah, I just found that stunning. You know,
stunning the thing people make up.
But equally as stunning that the female gorillas will purse their lips, you know, and finding out things about animals we know exist. I suppose, you know, there is a chance that some of the ones that we are unsure whether they exist or not have some of these strange sort of foreballs.
See, you're continuing on our animals
and
episode.
I mean fourballs. Yes,
fourballs?
Yeah, no, quite, yeah, fourballs.
Oh.
Furballs.
Furballs. Essentially what they are, yes. Isn't it?
It is. So, when you think about that, you think, well, they don't do themselves any favours, all these people that are looking for them, who are trying to track them down, when they come up with what obviously is nonsense. You know, how would they have those specifics? Surely you'll be talking about more scientific things before you start going down avenues about confectionery and big feet with big feet. You keep calling them big feet. Bigfoot with a anger management problem.
Yeah. If anything, all these facts have told me is made me think more that they don't exist, because people were just making up facts about them.
Well, yeah, we could do exactly the same, and I might do something along those lines on a further podcast. But you know, it's strange what's out there, and I think sometimes people get so involved and so sort of the whole life starts to revolve around this particular thing that they just lose any sense of reality, and which is a shame, because if you were to have some people that go and look for these things and in a scientific way, in a way that they could study certain things, more legitimate, you know. But you're never going to get that because no one will go near it. Yeah, the things I've seen as well through the documentaries is a lot of the people that have had sightings that are professional people don't want to come forward, because if they come forward, they're a laughing stock. So, you know, it's a bit of a vicious circle like that. Anybody you might think, oh, they're more reliable, they're not going to come forward anyway.
Yeah,
it's a bit like anything. If you saw something and then you tell everybody and you think, oh, what? But you saw it. You may not have seen what you think you've seen, but you did see something, you know.
That's a classic thing throughout history, though, as well, isn't it, really?
Well, it can be with anything, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't Tesla something like that, where... I don't know, something along those lines. But and then they get called an absolute lunatic by everyone else around that period. And I get that it can be difficult to come forward about these things. I mean, might be able to start to convince me that Bigfoot exists, but you'd never, because it's not like badgers. I mean, I know badgers don't exist, so
Well,
Bigfoot
quite,
is a bit more.
That's the biggest lie ever told, badgers.
Yeah, badgers.
It's a shame. I have always fancied being a cryptozoologist. I
Sorry,
love
I
that
thought you were
side
going
of
to say
things.
I've always fancied Bigfoot. It's a bit
Being a
of a
badger.
weird thing.
I've always fancied being a badger. No. I've always fancied being a cryptozoologist, and the study of that. It does fascinate me. I do find it, with a pinch of salt, but I do find it all really interesting. It's slightly the seriousness taken away when I did actually look it up and I could get a degree in it for 25 quid. So you start to think maybe it's not taken as seriously as I thought it might be. I thought it was a legitimate sort of area to look into.
I will point out that I've seen that course for 25 quid. It's not a degree, so you still got that. You could still get a degree in it, but that'll cost you $9,000.
No, right, okay.
Yep.
They lied. I might have them on that one.
That's just a diploma kind of thing. It's not a real, whatchamacallit. It's like a foundation kind of thing.
No, exactly.
Anyway. Yeah, I'm not convinced that Bigfoot. I think it's a lot of people. Again, it's another thing that if someone proved me wrong, I'd love to be proved wrong, because I'd love to know that there was this big thing walking around. But the more things that come out about it, in the fact that people have got these random facts about Kit Kats and stuff like that, it just makes me think, well, that's not true. There's no way you'd know that. So yeah. Sorry. But...
I think they'd throw up the argument that until certain animals were found, they were classes. They do cite something like the giant squid and say people thought they didn't exist, and then obviously they do exist, and they've found ones. And
but then that is completely different ballgame, because I said this at the beginning as well. A giant squid is underwater in an ocean, in a huge vast ocean. There's so much undiscovered things in the ocean. We know more about our moon than we do the ocean, and that's on our planet. So that's a completely different ball game. That.
However, don't know more about the moon.
Well, not its craters. I do now.
No, exactly. Yeah, right. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, so all I was going to say is just we know about the giant squid, but that's such a big place that something like that could be hidden down there. But in a woods somewhere, something 10 feet tall, in a number of places across the globe, really, but in North America and such like that, and people have literally been keeping an eye out for it. I can maybe understand a small animal, but it's like going to Africa and going, never spotting an elephant now and saying elephants don't exist. Now, I know you can go somewhere like that and not see an elephant if you go on safari or something, but the amount of people that have been there for someone to be able to go, oh yeah, there's an elephant there, and do you know what I mean? It's just so big that you can't really miss it.
But I guess I don't know if we've got an appreciation of, around the globe, there are still areas that very few people have been to. And, over a period of time, some places you just can't get to. And obviously it's getting less and less like that as years go by, through the fact that we seem to be ruining it all. And the fact that technology means we can send drones up and such like. So I would say I still think there could be, not to the length that some of them say, but I still think there could be things like that out there. The only thing that bothers me is I'm surprised, well, I guess if they haven't found them just living there, but I'm surprised they haven't found a body, because for something to have survived over those many years, there'd have been births and deaths, and you would have thought at some point. But I guess they'd argue again that if it's in the wild, then you wouldn't because it would be picked apart by other things anyway. So,
Yeah, well.
but loads of Kit Kat wrappers everywhere, you know.
Oh, that's proof.
So
Maybe we should go fly out there once restrictions
yeah,
lift and we're able to travel.
I'd be up for that. Yeah, let's go.
Let's
Let's
search for
do
Bigfoot.
do our own documentary. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's that. Another one sorted then.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Good. Glad to hear it.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Rawr.
Order cheddar, parmesan and mascarpone, feta, Stilton, stinking bishop brie, Gloucester, camembert, Danish blue, Wensleydale, Eden, gorgonzola, recommendo cheese. Do you like cheese?
Game time.
Okay. All right, let's have a little bit of fun. I've got a few questions for you. It's kind of loosely based on Bigfoot.
Okay.
I've got a title for it.
You've
It's
prepared
called.
one.
I did this time. Yeah, I've actually prepared it. I wouldn't say it's any better than the ones I don't prepare, but yeah, there we go. So it's Bigfoot, Littlefoot.
Welcome to our cafe.
Bigfoot, Littlefoot.
Welcome to our cafe.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I know what you're trying. That's a cook, not a foot.
Fair
That
enough.
was cook. Yeah. Right. So I'm going to give you two different people, and you've got to tell me who's got the biggest feet, or who's got the smallest feet out of the two of them. Okay.
All right.
Right. I've gone for UK measurement, just in case there's any problems with validity in some of these ones. And
So I can't
be
say
absolute.
one's EU and one's UK and then just say
No,
the EU one's bigger.
No, you can't. No, you can't do that at all. But, you know, and also I think people lie about what size their feet are for some inexplicable reason. But there we go. So let's kick this off then. Right,
Kick
number
this off,
one.
I like it.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Kim Kardashian, Kanye West.
Right, Kim Kardashian's got size 6 feet. And then Kanye West has got size 8 feet, so Kanye West.
Well, you're right in the fact that Kanye West has got bigger feet.
Do you know they get
Kim
a divorce?
I know. I found that out. You know, it's a shame, really, isn't it? It's but he's kind of lost his way a bit, and he lost his
well, he didn't make it
direction.
to president, so
No.
maybe that was it.
Lost
Anyway,
his way. Bit ironic for the fact his surname's a direction.
yeah.
Anyway, yes. So Kim Kardashian,
Kardashian.
yeah, is a size 5.
Oh, I was close. I was going to go for that.
Kanye West, size 11.
Oh, I was close. I was going to say that. Size 11.
Yeah, all right.
I'm pretty.
Yeah.
I don't actually know how tall he is. He just strikes me as a tiny guy.
No, I think he's quite a big fella, isn't he?
I don't know. I just thought he'd be like 5'8" or something like that, or 5'9".
All right, no, I think he's, you know. Well, again, he might be lying. Right, number 2, Tom Cruise or Tom Hanks?
I think Tom Cruise has got. I think it's been said he's got a centre tooth. Just as a quick kind of fact, he's got a tooth dead in the middle of his mouth. Have you seen that?
No.
No. If you ever look at a picture of him, his teeth.
Yeah.
Don't you know you have the 2 teeth in the middle?
Yeah?
He's got one in the middle. He's got one in the middle, and then it kind of goes off to one side. But anyway, that's going off at. I think I've heard Tom Cruise.
Are you thinking of Bugs Bunny?
No, I'm not, because he's got 2 big teeth in the middle. Anyway, Tom Cruise, he's got size 7 feet.
Has he? Right.
Yeah.
What about Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks, because Tom Cruise is tiny little man. Tom Hanks has got size 10 feet.
Well, you're wrong again. Tom Cruise has got 10 and a halves.
He's lying
And
about
Tom
that.
Hanks have got, well, The thing is with Tom Cruise, one thing I did, because another reason why I need to delete my search history is that, celebrity feet size.
Yeah.
Right, is that he wears a lot of platform shoes. So he uses shoes to get height, but I don't know that he's particularly got small feet. But he's a 10.5, and so is Tom Hanks.
So hang on, that was a trick question.
Well, not so much trick as you got it wrong.
It was just feet. That one was just... So hang on, there was no way to get that right though.
No, but you didn't get... Yeah, that's fair enough. But you didn't get it right anyway. I wasn't even going to ask you to actually guess the sizes, but you've started doing that. So no, you got both of those wrong.
All right.
Got twice as many wrong on that. Okay, number 3.
Oh, that was a bit softly
Kylie
said.
Minogue.
You're going to say Kylie Minogue again because you said Kylie Minogue.
Then Kylie Minogue.
Minogue.
Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton. They're both quite small, aren't they?
They are. Are you going to factor that into feet, or have they got Ronald McDonald feet?
No.
Dolly Parton certainly needs big feet.
This is going to be close. Dolly Parton has got size 4, and Kylie Minogue has got size 5.
Oh, wrong. Kylie's got size 3. Dolly Parton 3.5.
Oh. They are tiny.
So close, but yet so far. Okay.
Who has size
4?
3 feet? Some kind of little tiny
Kylie
people.
Minogue. Yeah.
And Auntie Sue.
Auntie Sue, yeah. Oh, yeah. Auntie Sue's got little doll's feet.
Little tiny feet.
Anyway, little tiny feet. Robbie Coltrane, Daniel Radcliffe.
Who's the first one?
Robbie Coltrane, Daniel Radcliffe. Hagrid, Harry Potter.
Oh, Robbie Coltrane is Hagrid.
Yeah.
Alright. I know he's not actually that big in real life, but I'm still going to go for he's got the bigger feet. He's got size 12, and then Daniel Radcliffe has got size 9.5.
Oh, Robbie Coltrane, or Hagrid, has got size 10.5. Daniel Radcliffe, size 9.
Oh, I was close, but got around.
Yeah, but because you're being specific,
it depends.
Depends
if Daniel Radcliffe you're measuring when he was a kid, or when he first started the films.
Oh, this is now.
Right.
And I imagine for most of his adult life he's had the same size feet.
Current affairs feet.
Oh yes, he's very very on. Well, we've talked about the divorce, so we've really pitched it at a certain point, haven't we?
Should we really pitch it more? What size foot has the Perseverance rover got? There you go. That's really putting a timestamp on it. Anyway, carry on.
Number 5, Danny Dyer, or Danny Dyer.
Right, this, because earlier on we were watching The Wall with Danny Dyer, and you go, pay close attention. So you know what I did is I googled if someone on that show, like Chris Kamara or someone, had a Bigfoot tattoo.
So you got to get rid of your search as well on history.
So Danny Dyer or Danny Dyer. So you're talking about Danny Dyer, the alright geezer, or Danny Dyer, alright geezer, which is his daughter. I'm going to go for
what size plates he got, you slag?
I'm going to go for Danny Dyer with an I, which is his daughter, has got smaller feet and she's got size 5. And then Danny Dyer with a Y, he's got bigger feet and he's size... I'm going to go for he's a size 9 because he's got smaller feet than you'd expect.
Well, he hasn't. And he's going to knock you out now for that. He's got size 11. She's got size 4.
I got it right around though. That's the main thing.
Oh, he's going to clock you round your boat race, mate. You've had it now. Okay, Jeremy Clarkson, James May.
That one actually is quite tough because I thought you might have gone for like Richard Hammond, and then just Richard Hammond's got smaller feet.
Or has he?
I actually think they've got about the same size feet. because I was watching the Grand Tour a little bit earlier on today, and Jeremy Clarkson gave James May shoes to some guy in Madagascar. I'm going to go for they are both size 11.
Wow. Well done. You've got everything right about that. They're both size 11s.
Oh, get in! Oh.
You are. Blimey. Well, at least you've pulled something out of all this. Okay.
That just sounds a bit creepy, though, doesn't it? I know they're both size
Yeah.
11.
Yeah, I know. Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans.
Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans. Chris Evans always kind of surprises. Like, I don't know. Hang on. Which Chris Evans are we talking about? We're talking about the ginger one. Are we talking about Captain America?
Oh, well done. You know me too well. I'm talking about Captain America.
All right, fair enough. And it was one of the Hemsworths, probably Chris Hemsworth. I'm going to go for. I think that Chris Evans is slightly taller than Chris Hemsworth. I'm just thinking back to the MCU films, so I'm going to go for Chris Evans is a size 11, and then Chris Hemsworth is a size 10.
Chris Evans, size 11. Chris Hemsworth, size 12.
Oh, wrong.
Wrong again. You don't know your feet. You really need to gin up on moon craters and people's feet.
Yeah, I do.
Boris Johnson.
What question is this, sorry?
Well, it's the same question about feet.
Yeah, but what number?
8.
8, okay.
Only 2 more to go. Don't worry. Boris Johnson, Donald Trump.
I'm going to go on the basis that Donald Trump, tiny hands, tiny feet. So I'm going to go for Donald Trump size. See, the thing is, Donald Trump would just lie about what size feet he's got anyway. I'm going to go Donald Trump size 9, and then Boris Johnson size 9.5.
Boris Johnson, size 9. Ooh, so near and yet so far. Donald Trump, size 11.
Ah, I guess it makes sense. He is a little bit taller.
Size 11 children's shoe size.
Oh, I never thought about that. Yeah, maybe it'd be right.
Okay, size 9. No, question 9. LeBron James, Magic Johnson.
Isn't LeBron James a basketball player?
Yep.
Is Magic Johnson also a basketball player?
Unbelievable. Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Homework for you. Look up Magic Johnson and Robbie Coltrane.
I don't see them as that important to me because they are American basketball players, and
No, Robbie Coltrane isn't. Right. Anyway,
Well,
go on.
yeah,
Go
I'm
back to
talking
it.
about-
LeBron James.
Anyway, they're both gonna be like size 20 or something like that. They're both basketball players. I'm gonna go for LeBron James as size 14, and then whichever the other one was a size 13.
LeBron James, size 15.5.
Oh.
Magic Johnson, 13.5.
So I got it right.
No. You got it right the right way round. Who's got the bigger feet? But you still didn't get a.
Yeah,
It's-
but
this is-
the whole quiz
I
was
didn't
who's got
start
the bigger
this.
feet.
Yeah, but
So-
I didn't start giving specifics. You're the
Yeah,
one who
but-
started giving
yeah, but you're
specifics.
giving me-
Don't start coming in and
You can't change the point system, though.
you changed it. It wasn't
No,
me
I
who
never
changed it
changed
in
the point
first place.
system. You did the points. You just said who's got bigger feet.
All right, number 10. Uma Thurman, Gina Carano.
You're just making these names up. I know Uma Thurman, but I only know Uma Thurman because of a song with their name in it. Who's the other person?
Gina Carano.
All I can guess is a woman.
Well done.
Who are they?
Who are they? Well, Uma Thurman's an actress.
Yeah, I'm talking about Gina Carano.
Mandalorian.
Gina Crayon. Mandalorian. Oh, is she the one that got kicked off of Mandalorian?
Yes, she is. Yeah.
Yeah, for transphobic stuff.
Now, don't start getting this too serious. I didn't know all that, so.
Anyway, she
you've ruined this now.
She has got. She's fairly bulky, so I'm going to go. She's a size 8.
Can you say that?
And Uma Thurman, I don't really know who they are. I've never seen them in my life, so I'm just going to go for they're a size 7.
Gina Carano is a size 8.
Yep.
Uma Thurman is a size 10.
That doesn't mean much to me because I still don't know who they are, really. I've just heard the name.
Right. Another end of podcast quiz goes down like a don't know what and a don't know what.
Quite literally a house burning.
Well, did you enjoy that? I wasn't even keeping count on what ones you got right or not. So.
Oh, so I won basically.
No, it was pretty rough. You didn't get much right.
Oh, well, I think swings and roundabouts, apples and pears, stones and crayons, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's it then for this week.
It is. I'm afraid so.
Well, I'm afraid. Well,
but the Bigfoot, did we even get to a point where we decided whether it was true or not? We're pretty much saying it probably isn't, didn't we?
We pretty much says that it definitely is not definitely possible to tell.
Okay. Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'll go with that.
Yep. So, heard it here first. Bigfoot, we don't know if he exists or not.
Yeah. I'm glad we could have been some help to everybody, giving them all that information to digest.
Or all the big feet.
Yeah. Big butt. Big butt doesn't exist.
So, just a quick one. Your left foot or your right foot? Which one's Bigfoot, Littlefoot?
My left foot is bigger than my right foot. I've got a size 11 left foot, and I've got a size probably about 10 to 10.5 right foot.
I think it's just the 10, your right foot.
I don't think it's that much difference between the two, but there's enough.
Well, I think it's more that your left
Thanks for bringing that
wider.
up. Anything else?
It's just why you go around in circles, isn't it?
It is. Well, I find it hard to turn suddenly in the opposite direction.
If he's in water and he's using his feet as flippers, he just goes round and round.
It's like one of those toys you put in a bath.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope you put up with this week's episode. It was certainly something. Thank you so much for listening. Just a quick one as well. Don't know if you knew this, Dad, but we have currently got our podcast available on a number of different podcast platforms, such as TuneIn, Deezer, Apple Podcasts /iTunes, some other ones which I've forgotten the names of. Obviously, Acast, where we host our podcast as well. So just check them out if you can, if you care.
I've heard of a couple of those, yeah.
Yeah, so we're hoping to get them on some more podcast platforms going forwards and soon. So keep an eye out for those. We might make posts about that as and when they appear. But yeah, thank you so much for listening this week. You can also follow us on all our social media platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Just so people are aware as well, I run the Instagram and Twitter, but you run the Facebook. So so you can see the differences there. That's
you can also write to us.
You can also write to us.
I know.
Have we had anyone write to us?
Not this week, no. There seems to be. I think you've upset the people. We had a couple, didn't we? But I think you've upset them. So.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see. We'll see. I'm hopeful we'll have some more correspondence, but I can't be sure. I'm not going to make them up. So we just have to have legitimate ones come in. No, I'm not going to make them up. They've got to be legitimate. So
how many weeks have we had people writing? Is it 2 now?
2 weeks, yeah. 2 weeks I wrote in, yeah.
Yeah, all right. But thank you very much for listening. I've enjoyed it this week. Have you enjoyed it, Dad?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah. You sound really overjoyed.
Some of it.
Some of it. All right.
Bits of it.
Bits of it. little bits, really little
Tiny bit of it, yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for listening, and we shall see you next week. Goodbye.
Yep. See you soon.